Most insurance providers will offer insurance for your landscaping and gardening equipment. This would protect you against a loss to your trees, shrubs, lawn, and even lawnmower. But many insurance providers use this coverage differently, so it's important to understand how it properly works. And if you owned a house, you most likely own the equipment to keep your yard and lawn beautiful. And did you know that this equipment could be covered under your home insurance policy? And in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the landscaping and gardening equipment coverage, why it's important to you, and the top asked questions around this coverage. So let's begin. Most home insurance providers offer coverage for your gardening and landscaping equipment. But knowing how this coverage is applied and how much coverage you have can be tricky. Gardening equipment such as your snowblowers, rakes, and shovels can sometimes be included in your personal property coverage with some providers. Permanent and built-in sprinkler systems are usually part of your building coverages. Fences, that's usually included in a detached structures coverage. And your trees and shrubs is usually covered by a percentage of your home's value, up to a limit about $500 to $1,000 for each tree or shrub. Confused? Well, at Square One, we keep it simple. We have combined detached structures, fences, and landscaping coverage all into one coverage. And the best part, you get to choose the own limit. Coverage for your landscaping is often limited to damage caused by certain losses, such as fire, lightning, or theft. For instance, if a tree falls over in a storm, you might not have coverage for the removal and replacement of the tree itself. In addition, losses due to drought, disease, or the weight of ice and snow may be excluded as well, so you'll want to check your insurance policy. However, and the good news, damage to your landscaping from fallen structures or trees is usually covered. For example, if your shed blew over and crushed your prized rosebush. Maintaining your home's exterior can be expensive, and the tools to do so can cost hundreds to even thousands of dollars. Some policies will provide coverage for this, and some don't, so it's important to understand this. At Square One, your gardening equipment is included under your personal property coverage. That way, you can select a limit up to $100,000 to give you peace of mind if you've seriously invested in your gardening equipment. Outbuildings are technically considered a detached structure. So at Square One, we'd provide coverage under the detached structures, fences, and landscaping coverage section. If you have a different home insurance provider, I suggest you check with them to make sure you have the proper coverage. Not every insurance provider will provide coverage for acts of vandalism. However, at Square One, you can have peace of mind. We provide coverage for all major loss types, including vandalism. This is a difficult question to answer, as it really depends on the size and plot of the gardening equipment you own, and as well as the flowers or crops that you're growing. People often also underestimate the value of their landscaping and fences. So it's a good idea to understand the replacement cost of this, so you have the proper coverage. If you're still unsure, we suggest you talk to your gardening equipment specialist, or you can talk to a landscaper or arborist. They'll be able to give you some details on the type of equipment you have and what it would cost to replace. You'll also want to confirm with your insurance provider what they consider the definition of landscaping to be. Some insurance providers will have different definitions, so be sure to check if you're not with Square One. But at Square One Insurance, we include such things as retaining walls, rockeries, and permanent ornamental structures as part of the landscaping definition, as well as your trees and shrubs. However, to give you a bit of an idea, some data was analyzed back in 2012 about garden insurance claims, and the average summertime insurance claim for this area was around $1,500, so keep this in mind. So that's it for today's video on insuring your landscaping, fences, and gardening equipment. If you have any questions how this coverage would apply specifically to your situation, or to get an online home insurance quote, you can visit squareoneinsurance.com.